Hi teachers, this is the instructional guide for Primary 5, Term 2, Week 2. All right, so for this week, we're going to focus on one booklet because it's word problems. May be a bit challenging for some students. Hence, I thought we go a bit more detailed and to take a bit more time, right? So let's just jump straight into guided practice. We start off with this question. Audrey bought some flour to make cakes, egg tarts, and cream puffs to sell. She used 2/3 of the flour to bake cakes, and so on. Now, so for this question, what I'd like you, or rather, how I'd like you to teach students to draw, it's to draw bar model. But if you look at using this model already drawn here, right, it may be a bit difficult to understand for student. Right, so how I'd like you to teach this instead is this: 2 out of 3 of the flour to bake cakes. So what you do is you draw 1 whole bar and then 2 out of 3, right? So that's 2 out of 3, isn't it? Sorry, I may not draw it evenly, so let me stretch it a bit. Okay, oops. Okay, let me redo this. I'm sorry. I realized that I cannot draw it outside the box. Okay, let me draw this again. So I'm going to make full use of it here. Right, 2 out of 3. Okay, so we got to do it step by step for them, right? So this is okay, and then for flour will be to bake cakes, that be 2 out of flour, and so this is C. Okay, and then 1/5 of it to bake egg tarts. So how much is 1/5? Now, to make it to know what 1/5 is, we got to split it up into 5 parts each. Okay, 5 parts each. Right, so 1/5 of it would be, now we got 30 parts because we're splitting 1/5, 1 out of 5. So in order to find out 1/5, right, we need to convert 1/5 into 15 parts. Okay, so times 3 times 3. So 1/5 would be 3 out of 15. Right, so this would be the egg tarts. I'll just use ET for short. Right, and finally the rest of it is for cream puffs, right, CP. Okay, so please use this method. You might want to explain using this method, but I always find that it's good to take them through the basics here so they understand why there's a need to do a conversion, why there's a need to break it up into parts, right? So they can actually, because our motto has always been drawing bar models according to the order of the story. So I think this will fit well, okay? And then the rest is quite straightforward. Okay, getting them to identify. It's always, when you use the bar model method, it's always about finding the value of 1 unit, and after that they'll be able to solve the question, right? So work them through that. And then same thing, right? For question 2, use the bar model method again, right? Notice that this is 1/4 of saving, right? So emphasize off again of the entire thing, right? 2/4 of it, no uncounting. So please start from. Okay, I'll just do one portion here. I will not draw everything for time purpose, right? So let's start with this. Okay, 1/4 of savings on shoes, right? And then 2/3, what I mean 2/3 means every part I will split up into 3 because the denominator of 3, right? And that way I can get a common denominator, right? Convert 2 out of 3. If I convert it into in total here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? I'll know that it's 8 out of 12, right? Will be for the 5 identical sheets. Okay, all right, and then after that, I think some of these questions are quite easy to do. I would like you to take them through question 3, just a recap. Right, 2/3 of it to bake cakes. So this question is a bit different. This one doesn't really require bar model, right? Because it doesn't compare, different so-called items. Rather, it's about addition. It's more about addition, but you need one more step first. So 6 whole 3 out of 8 kilogram of flour, and then she used 2/3. So this is 2/3 of 6 whole 3 out of 8. So it's 2/3 times 6 3 out of 8. Okay, so then whatever that you find, right? So make sure they write the steps down. And whatever the answer is, then she bought another 2 3 out of 5 kilograms. So very important to note that this doesn't mean 2/3 kilogram. Right? This does not, you got to emphasize on them. This is 2/3 of. So many would make this mistake, right? So this is not equals to 2/3 kilogram. Right? And then after that, they add 2/3, 3 out of 5, they will get the answer. Okay. And then you might want to get them to do this question on their own, see whether they can do it. If not, then you interject. Okay, because you've already taught them how, right? You tell them that this is very similar to earlier one. So start off by start off by this one over here, right? 1/5 of distance, start off by drawing 1 out of 5 parts, and then they cut appropriately. Okay? All right. Now, another question to get them to do it. This one may need a lot of help because this one is a bit different, right? It says Jess and 55 guppies to Jess and 57 guppies. So I think this is the part that they may not get it. All right, they may get confused, but you can say, no, actually, like you just add them together, 55 plus 57, right? You get 112, just label it as such, right? So I think this is the part they will not get. Can always get them to try doing it on their own first, and then interject, or you might just want to demonstrate. Okay, and then let's see other questions that you can do with them during class. Question 10, right? So use the same approach. Right, guide them through the bar model approach. Okay, and then what else? Let me see. Question. I think question. Okay, I would like you to do. I think question 15 would be good to do, right? Because there's this idea of the remainder. Okay, then the rest are orchids. The rest are orchids here. Right, 1/8 of the shops in the house are roses, 5 sets of the 5, 7 out of remaining flowers. Right, so here they got to split it, or not split it up, they got to label it properly. Actually, right, what they can do, right, is simply just drawing 1 bar instead of so many. Right, so rather that if they understand this is remainder, right, 5, 7 or remainder, what they do, right, is 5 out of 7, right, there are lilies, right? So just label 5 out of 7 are lilies. So I don't think this part is actually necessary. You don't have to draw that, right? So just write lilies and then remainder orchids, right? Take them through this question. Yeah, I think if there's enough time, there's one question that I missed just now that I think you may, if let's say if it is necessary, I'll tell you what, I think that's enough. We want to also see whether they can do on their own. Right, so I don't want to complete so many questions in class and then end up that they may not know, not enough practice for them. All right, so I think that's it for this week. And then there's another. I believe there's a test paper that we've not done yet. Addition of mixed numbers. Okay, so you can give it them that to them as homework. If there is, if after completing lesson there is still enough time, they can actually start. There's still some time. You can actually start on the test paper. That's it for PE 5.